find them? And you should be asking this question both when they call in. You should also be asking the question when you interview them in your preliminary interview, because you'll actually find you get different answers quite often. And I even recommend to lawyers that they do it on the exit interview as well, so that they can see how the message morphs, and they can see the different channels that people are thinking about and associating that lawyer's brand or presence with. So ask a lot of questions about how you found it. But the good news is, as everything moves online, and the good news is if you build a great core web presence, that it makes a lot of this monitoring and measuring easier, right? And so one of the easiest ways is, I mean, Google, Twitter, Facebook, all these very big communities we talked about, they all have an advanced search function so that you can search that community to understand who's talking about you or who's talking about anything that you're interested in. I used to ask how many people Google themselves, and only about a third would raise their hands. And the other two-thirds, they're all lying, right? So I just don't ask anymore. We all Google ourselves. It's not a bad thing, okay? You're trying to figure out, particularly when it comes to your professional life, what people are saying about you on the web. And in fact, there are all sorts of tools that are coming out, whether it's TweetDeck for Twitter, Hootsuite that runs for Twitter, LinkedIn and Facebook, Social Mention. There are all sorts of sites, and you can spend a lot of money on these, like Radiant6, all sorts of social monitoring tools where they're going to help you understand what's being said about you or your partners or your practice or your competitors on the web. Now, one of the cheap ways that you can do it, Google Alerts. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Google Alerts, but just Google Alerts. And what you can do is set up an alert system for free within Google where you put in your name, put in whatever you want to track. I mean, maybe you want to track your kids, I don't know. But put in any set of keywords. And every time those keywords are indexed by Google in the billions of pages, that there might be trillions of pages that they're indexing, they'll send you an email so that you can immediately click through and see what's being said about you or your partners or what have you. And then what's really cool about that, Rich was talking about the response times. Quite often if someone says something nice about your practice or reviews your practice or whatever it might be, you can say thank you. Or if they've said something negative, you can have a constructive conversation with them, which will further enhance your brand.